So Shimano 105 di2 is actually here. Who would have known? I've talked to a Shimano rep a few times, and whenever I mentioned that, he had this like look of like, really? You're really asking us this? And they actually did it, but they kind of had no choice to. And that's because of SRAM. SRAM is their problem. So I never talked about it on this channel, but SRAM, they released a rival ETAP Axis group set, which weighed in at 3,200 grams. But here's what gets interesting. This Shimano group set is weighing in at, I think it's like 3,067 grams, which does make a difference because those grams add up to become kilograms, which make a big difference. So, man, where do I even start? I mean, or I did start, I guess, but this is interesting because I guess they're not going to have a mechanical version anymore. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I always looked at 105 as like, it's kind of like an entry-level group set. I mean, some people consider it like a mid-tier group set, but the reason I considered it as an entry-level group set was a few years ago, there were a lot of bikes that you could buy in that like $1,000 to $2,000 US dollar price range, where you could get 105 and you felt like you were getting a pretty great deal. You know what I mean? Like, you had 105, you had 11-speed shift, just like the Dura-Ace. And a lot of those Dura-Ace bikes, they're like 10,000 or 11,000 bucks. Even though it's like di2, it's very similar. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird that they're only going electronic now. So I guess, and I like electronic shifting, and I'll get to that a little later. Just have to stay subscribed and watch for the bell notification. Yeah, I think that's what they do on YouTube, bell notification. You'll have to wait to know my opinion on that a little bit later. But electronics is awesome, but it's not awesome at the same time, because, you know, a lot of times you can be set it and forget it, and you can work on it for sure, but it's something that, you know, it's like iPhones. You know what I mean? You have to, you know, get a new one, or you gotta send it back and let, you know, the company deal with it and get it back. And I just feel like it's a lot more of a headache for mechanics or technicians, whatever they want to call themselves now. But yeah, that's my one concern. I feel like we're just seeing more electronic stuff in cycling, which is fun, but there are some issues that come with it too. And I think we need to acknowledge that as cyclists, and just kind of look into, you know, the flaws and also the good stuff too. But that's very cool because they're pretty much matching SRAM's lineup. But I guess for SRAM Road, what I view them more as is they just believe in disc brakes and wireless shifting. That's their thing, and that's what they're putting a lot of their research into, which is fun because that was their thing. But I viewed Shimano as they're kind of giving people more options, and you know, they'll provide those mid-tier or premium group sets, but they'll also have a lot of entry-level stuff also. But with Shimano, I feel like they're going in that direction a little bit, and I don't think they should just copy what SRAM's doing, because there are a lot of, like, I've got some engineer friends that claim that, like, you know, SRAM is like a knockoff Shimano, like they just copy Shimano and can't copy Shimano. But it's not necessarily so. Shimano, like I said, they offer lots of different group sets, where I thought with Ultegra and Dura-Ace di2, like the new ones, like the 12-speed, right? They're offering the rim brake option, but I guess, like, it's really hard to get them. Like, most of the time you can't find them, and I don't think they're even like the new levers. And they're just coming out and saying with 105 di2 it's disc only, and people are like, oh, well, everyone's riding disc, or you know, they're all making disc frames now. But there are companies that do rim frames. Look, disc brakes are great, but rim brakes are great too. And we'll make another video about that. Let me know if you want to see that in the comment section. But not everybody's riding the newest stuff. Like maybe somebody has a bike from like 5 years ago and they want to make it new. They want to upgrade the drivetrain. Maybe their drivetrain's wearing out and they want to get the new 105. Like you're completely eliminating that customer base from buying your new product. And I feel like it just seems foolish. So that's my critique. And you know, it's obviously, you know, it's going to be heavier than the Dura-Ace, and that's kind of how the mechanical versions went. But you know, Ultegra, Dura-Ace, you know, fine. You know, if you want to go only wireless, like I get it. But 105 in my mind was like the king of those mechanical groove sets that were left. It was like, it's the best. It's like the middle. It's, you know, the group set of the people, some call it. I'm not going to say workhorse group set because I've heard a lot of people say that about Ultegra, so I don't really know which it is. Let me know in the comments below. But I guess now Tiagra is so funny. There's this guy out there in Florida, I think it's GC Performance, and someone asked him in a live stream if he thinks we'll ever see Shimano Claris di2, and he's like, man, I wish I could see a day when we could chuck Shimano Claris out of the effing window. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, Claris, Sora. First off, get Sora. Sora's not that bad. I mean, the first Sora was kind of eh. You know, I said some good things about it because I had it for a really long time, and I got it when I wasn't really educated on how to maintain a bike as well, and it still held up. So that's why I felt like it was decently good. But the new Sora is even better. It kind of goes off of the previous design of like the 5800 or 105 or the 6800 Ultegra. It kind of keeps that design. The Claris does too, but the Sora just feels a little bit better than the Claris does to me. So if you're really entry-level bike, I'd say go for the Sora. But yeah, 105, like, you know, the price of a 105 bike is going to go up, and the weight's going to go up too because, you know, it's disc only, right? So, and that's not just Shimano's fault. That's like the fault of the manufacturers too. Because if you really ride one of these like kind of entry level or like bikes, you know, like my father bought a bike like this, right? He got a Domine 5 Series, right, in 2016, and it's Ultegra, rim brakes. He got a deal on it. It was a little bit more expensive than this. He got it for like $3,000, and the bike weighs probably like, I'm guessing like 17 pounds. And now, like, there's no way you'd ever get a bike like that for that price, you know, with that weight. And I know weight isn't everything. It's not the end-all be-all of the cycling, but I just think that you're not getting like a great value anymore in terms of that, because your bike can have fancy shifting and comfortable shifting. I 100% agree. And you can always upgrade those wheels too. That's why I'll recommend people, if you go for a 105 bike, just get the carbon fiber wheels if you have disc brake, because then you don't even wear out the braking surface. That's when you get a really good deal. But yeah, I mean, if you're just going for that stock bike, that's all you can afford. You know, I just feel like you're not getting a good value anymore. Like, your bike's gonna weigh like 20 pounds. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have heavy aluminum wheels and that, and the shifting is good. Electronic shifting is great because when you feel your glucose getting depleted on a long ride, you can still push the button and it's going to shift right every time. So that's the great thing about it. And I'll make a whole other video about this if you guys want to see it. Just let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I think it's good because you have that wireless shifting, electronic shifting technology that's available to more people and they can enjoy it. But I think it's bad because I feel like you're not getting as good of value for money in terms of weight. Like, every non-road bike person, whenever they go up to a fancy looking road bike, they're like, oh man, I could probably lift this thing up with my finger, but it'll weigh like 20 pounds, you know what I mean? Which to mountain bikers is light, but to road bikers is heavy for a price of like $3,000 to $4,000 US, which is the price of it now. The cost of things has gone up quite a bit. But yeah, that's my take on it. I think that it's cool, but I also think that it's not cool for a few of those reasons that I listed. But either way, I'll be excited to see it. I'm excited to get my hands on it. Let me know if you want me to do an impressions, do a ride with it. be happy to show you. But remember, you guys have a great day and stay vegan.